If you've been going through your life thinking that there's a certain age where you need to start reaching out and getting financial help, then today's episode is going to go through why that's absolutely not true, because I've heard way too many times, aren't advisors just for old people? And that's definitely not the case. Every generation is a little bit different. If I walk out of my office and I hear a cell phone ringing at full blast on their ringtone, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see on the other end of that phone somebody that's over 50, maybe 60 years old in the office. My phone has been on vibrate for so long, I really don't even know what the ringtone is. But somebody in that generation, that demographic, that's how they like to have their phone situated. On the reverse side of it, if I walk out of my office and I see somebody texting away at their desk, I'm probably going to expect a much younger demographic to be on the other side of that phone. So different generations have different ways that they like looking at things, and they have different opportunities when it comes to financial situations. So that means that you many times could have an advantage from working with somebody, working with an advisor, of course, if you're wanting to. And so age should not be the determining factor. Your desire to work with someone, your desire to have help, that should be the determining factor. For a long time throughout history, and your great grandparents, your grandparents, they didn't need advisors, and this job therefore only exists for about 30, 35 years, something like that. It's a relatively new profession. People used to get a pension, they used to get Social Security, they used to die much earlier. They didn't have these 30-year retirements, and so the world was a very different place then. Now, when there are advisors and you look out there and you say, well, who does that fit with? Kind of subconsciously, what you're told is that somebody that is much older is the fit for having an advisor. You meet with somebody and they say, oh, I'm a financial advisor. What do you picture right now? You probably picture someone in their 50s or 60s with gray hair. That's at least what I would picture before I became an advisor myself. On TV, you look at a commercial, it says, oh, getting ready for retirement. Who is the person that's on TV there? It's probably a 50, 60, 70-year-old person. Again, gray hair. They're probably on the beach walking hand in hand, big smiles on their face, maybe in a convertible, something like that. But that, again, is the image that you're seeing. So it's being reinforced in that way to you that this is who should start thinking about their finances. This is who needs that kind of an advisor. That's the picture that they're putting into your mind. Now, if we go to the other side of that, though, let's go really, really young. Does a young person need an advisor? If you look at somebody who's young, maybe they don't get an advisor, they don't ask for help, maybe they don't save as early as they otherwise could have. So just as an example, let's say somebody did meet with someone, they did ask for help, and they start saving an extra $250 a month because of that. Hey, I can save this person's helping me, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's say that $250 is going to grow at 7% for 30 years. That's an extra $300,000 now in this example that they otherwise wouldn't have. The other big part of somebody helping you when you're young is encouraging you to save more every year, right? Is your income going to go up every year? Probably, right? So let's say your income goes up 5% per year and your advisor helps you save an additional 5% per year because of that. So not just $250 every month in that last example for 30 years forever, but $250 growing at 5%. Hey, I got a raise. I'm going to save a little bit more. Hey, $250 growing at another 5%. Hey, I got a raise. I'm going to save a little bit more. So that same example as before, $250 a month, 7% growth, but now our contributions are growing with our wages, 5% every year. Now that $300,000 turns into $500,000 after 30 years. So if a young person was going to do that on their own, fantastic, but a lot of times it's not true. They don't know to look for that. They don't know to pay attention to that. So again, that's just a quick example of how somebody who is younger could really get a big benefit out of working with an advisor. Jump into the middle range, right? Now you're in your 40s, your career is really going, you have big bonuses maybe coming in, stock options, you want to save for your kids. How much value could working with someone and answering some of those questions bring to you in that situation, whether it be for earlier retirement, for college, for a second home? So no matter where you look, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, there's always an advantage of having the right steps in place, working with someone to do that, if that, again, is your desire of what you want to do. But it should be a conscious decision, right? So if you don't want to work with someone, you want to do it on your own, that's okay too. You could self-implement your own plan, but that means that you're hiring yourself as your advisor. You still deserve a really good advisor, though. So if you're hiring yourself, you better make sure you're a really good advisor for yourself as well, because you deserve it. So no matter what you do, be intentional about it, but don't just assume advisors are for old people, because that's certainly not the case. Thanks for joining me today, and as always, more podcasts to come.